box has arrived. Let's see what's in it. Something really cool. Kind of a niche type product that I wanted, or actually I need at this point. Oh, peanuts. What if these are the edible ones? Yeah, they're the corn ones. They dissolve in water. That's nice. So I'm gonna dump these out. And in typical fashion, we have a box inside a box. So we'll go ahead and open this up. So what we have here is the model CF102. What the hell is a CF102? Well, what this is if you're familiar with the Light Keeper Pro, the little red gun that you use to fix your incandescent Christmas lights. It's got that little trigger thing there to magically make the lights work again. And what's in that gun is when you got that plugged in, and there's hopefully you got power to that particular socket that you have it plugged into. And what it does is that inside the Lightkeeper Pro, there's an actual lighter clicker, like for your butane torches. You got that's what's inside a Lightkeeper Pro. You have a high voltage clicker, sparker, and on the output of that sparker is a series of diodes to force the power out. And that with the high voltage, sometimes it will it'll either melt the insulation off the shunt that's not working, or if a shunt has failed because you're too lazy to change the burnt out bulbs and rely on that shunt to keep your lights set, sometimes they actually de-weld themselves, or they get corrosion on that little piece of wire. There's actually a couple of wraps around the filament supports that make the connection. So when the filament burns out, the shunt takes over. So that's how the Lightkeeper Pro works. Because a lot of people, they don't know what's in them. I did, because I took one apart, because I actually wrecked one. Because I was trying to fix the crap out of some sets of lights I have not been successfully able to fix on my pre-lit Balsam Hill 12-foot tree. So I got this box, and this box is the Lightkeeper Pro clicker on steroids. So this thing will fix just about anything, and if this don't fix it, The set's junk. You throw it out. So what this is a high voltage. It sends high voltage through the light set to force it either A, fix that shunt, or B, it makes a buzzing noise. It'll be bzzz, and you'll hear it. This thing is some serious business, and it's also a little dangerous if you got exposed wires that you got in hand. That you'll get zapped good with this thing. I know some people that were forced to use this thing out in the rain. It wasn't me, because I'm smart enough not to screw with these things. So what this does is that you plug your light set into the outlet here, and they gave you a little extension cord in case you need it that you can plug in. And conveniently, there's no instructions on this thing, so you need to know what the hell you're doing with this thing. So they give you the option of a little pigtail here. So normally you would have this plugged in to the front of this thing all the time, just so you got a little something to sacrifice, instead of wearing out this plug, which could be fixed because I can do that type of thing, but you can sacrifice this thing to take the brunt of the socket here. And then you get this little probe here that'll help you problem solve some of your light sets and stuff like that. I've never seen anybody use this thing, so I have no idea how it works. I've never seen one. I've seen the box. I've seen the box work, but I've never seen this part. So I'd have to research how that works. And then you got your generic plug with no holes in it. So that shows you that's China pride 100%. Yeah, that's awesome. So and this is a pretty generic box because it's got looks like it's got a switch hole in it that you can stick your finger there in the high voltage. That's awesome. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So this little box is the Lightkeeper Pro on steroids, minus the light checker and fuse checker and stuff like that. So what this does is sends high voltage through the set, and either you'll A, fix some shunts that are bad, because the Lightkeeper Pro, I think it's really only good to fix one shunt on a string of sets, where if you got multiple faults, which I have on my Balsam Hill tree, and it's just the top section, because it's densely lit, so when I checked it in November of beginning of the 2021 Christmas season, everything was working. So based on that tree being so many years old, I think it's like 5 or 6 years old now, so bulbs are going to start going out. They may work one day, and then the next day they're out, they burn out, and then the shunt takes over. And then being that the tree is going to be on for 45 days, usually 45 to 50 days, depending on how long you run your strings. I run my stuff runs from Black Friday to New Year's Day, so that's about 45 days, something like that. So in the time frame that a bulb, let's say bulb goes out on day 2, so you got 44 days of that light set being run on the shunt. And of course, when you run off the shunt, the power for the rest of the bulbs go up, and that's just the nature of incandescents. And the same thing with the LEDs, where if you don't notice lights going out, and you're not keen on maintenance and stuff like that. And yeah, of course, you got a 12-foot tree outside that's lit. You're not going to go out there every single day and scan it and look for bad bulbs and change them, because I don't want to be on a ladder every single day 12 foot high looking for burnout bulbs. And it just ain't going to happen. It's not economical. So when I brought my tree in and I did my year-end inspection, I had a couple of different sections of the tree that were out. And of course, I got my Lightkeeper Pro out, and I was able to fix the sections 1 through 5. But then the clicker failed, and normally, once the clicker fails, you're kind of screwed of the easy fix, and then you got to go use the voltage detector part of the gun. But the problem is that it's got 3 of them LR44 batteries in them that to run the voltage detector, and they, after 10 years or so, they're dead as a doornail and leaking, and I took them out years ago because they were dead. So I was pretty much out of luck with that portion of it. So I left the tree unfixed until I get some new toys. So I got a new Lightkeeper Pro coming, and I got that new generation of the. It's kind of like a Lightkeeper Pro, but it's a hybrid. It's for the LEDs and the incandescents, and then I got one of these jobbers, these voltage detectors, and these are pretty. It seems like this is the common thing to go to now when you got lights out, and you don't really want to spend the money for a new Lightkeeper Pro. Even if they're still sold today, I don't know. I haven't been in a Lowe's or a Home Depot or a Walmart in a couple of a long time during Christmas time. So I don't know if they even sell the Lightkeeper Pro. I would imagine they got the Lightkeeper Pro branded LED checker. That I would assume they have that, because now that most everything is LED now, and I think of course, like I said, I haven't been in a store. I don't even know if they still sell incandescent mini lights and specialty lights anymore. So I don't know if they still have them. So I went ahead on Amazon and I got this thing, these voltage detectors, and these things are actually pretty cool. So if you don't know how these work, it's got a little probe on the end, a little inductor pickup. So you use these pens, you turn it on, and you get a green light, and it turns red with an audible beep if you get power. So on a extension cord or your receptacle in the wall, you notice that you got a long hole or slot and a short slot. So the short slot is your hot. That's the zap it, and so these things you just if you were to jab it into the electrical cord on the neutral side, it don't go off. But if you stick it on the hot side, you get the beeping. So that tells you there's electricity present. So when you're using the Lightkeeper Pro, the voltage detector, you're doing the same thing that this thing does. So what you're doing is you're actually scanning and to see where like this wire is twisted inside. So you get these little pauses in the power. So let's say that, this is your Christmas lights. Oh, that socket works. That socket works. That socket works. Oh, no, I got no power. So now you back up one, that's where your problem is. And that's how you use the Lightkeeper Pro or these little standalone voltage detectors. So enough with that baloney. So coming back to this thing, you plug this into the wall, and then you plug your non-lighting light sets into this, and then you go ahead and flip this switch to on, and then you smash this big red button, this big shiny button, candy-like button, and it sends the high voltage out. It's really awesome. So on this thing, so you power up, plug in, smash the red button, and either A, the light set is going to automatically work when you smash this button, or you're going to hear bzz, 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 all kinds of racket and popping and cool shit like that. And you'll be scanning because, even if you have to have somebody help you, or, in case you got like a pre-lit tree and you can't, carry this box and look for the fault somewhere, you have somebody smash this button to see if you can narrow the sound down. Now, one thing you want to do is don't be touching the light set while this thing's going off, because, yeah, you'll be sent, you'll be a splat on the back wall, from being shocked, and this thing will shock you. I don't know how many volts this thing puts out, but you'll get it. For me, I'll look like Bob Ross. So I do have I'll have to drag out my upper half of my balsam hill tree out and use this to fix it. Maybe I'll make a video of it while going through the process. Go through the process of using a voltage detector, and go through the process of using the Lightkeeper Pro, and I'll use the hybrid Lightkeeper Pro. I might call it Lightkeeper Pro. It's use that for the LEDs too. And then we'll just go ahead and use this thing to see where the faults are, because I have multiple faults on my balsam hill tree, so I need something a little bit more that's got some more gonads to fix the tree. And then I have some very old vintage mini incandescent light sets that are still here, and some of them haven't been used. I have a brand new box, brand new, still sealed, of little bit special mini lights. They were mini lights, but they had an extra large envelope, so they call them like jumbo or extra large bulbs. But the socket was still the same size as a mini light, so it went from mini light, and then it kind of like expanded to a big glass envelope. And that was the big rage about, I would say, 25 years ago, and they first turned up on QVC for bigger, brighter mini incandescents. This was before the big craze of LED started coming out. So I seen them, and I seen one Christmas display that had them, and they were a little bit brighter, not a lot, but noticeably, different. So I bought a crap load of them. I mean, when I found them in Lowe's, and when you used to buy them, they were in kind of like a cardboard display case. Well, I took the whole damn cardboard display and I put them in a cart, and I bought, like, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe even 6 different cardboard displays that you could just, you were supposed to take the boxes out, but I needed a lot of them, so I just took the whole thing. And I remember when I bought them, and I went over to checkout, and the cashier says, "You're putting up one hell of a display if you're buying all these lights." I says, "You're damn right I am." And I had them for quite a long time, not decades. I don't think they lasted 10 years. I don't think they lasted 5 years, because the sets that replaced the mini lights, because I just tossed them, because they were the type that once you had so many problems with them, you just got rid of them. And so I bought all jumbos, and when I found out later, about 3 or 4 years later, they started having problems. And this was long before the Lightkeeper Pro was even out. It didn't exist. You played, if you wanted to keep the sets working, you were really on the ball of changing burned out bulbs, because if the shunt failed, then in mid-season you had these large sections that were out, and it looked awful. I mean, trying to figure out where the bad bulb was almost impossible. So I kept up on it. But the problem is that when you rolled them up and put them away for the next year, and then when you brought them out, you made damn sure that you checked them. And the biggest problem with that particular size light is, for whatever reason, the wires on the bulbs always broke. And once you get a bunch of them, it was impossible to fix them. You couldn't fix them. So then I just got tired of, once the set started failing and failing and failing. And this thing didn't exist either. I mean, maybe they did, but they were probably like a couple $100. So it was for a casual user. And I just happened to find this on sale. I think it was like $70 or something like that. Usually they're like 100, more than, or almost $200 to $300, depending on which site you go to now. But the problem is that since incandescents are going to the wayside of LEDs, these things are getting hard to find now. And I only found 2 places on the interwebs that have this. And the place that I found this particular box for the lowest price you're probably ever going to get it for was 1,000 bulbs. So I'll throw up a little thing online where I got this from, and it was on clearance. So probably by the time you see this video and check it out, they might be gone, forever. So let's check that site out. So here we are at the 1000bulbs.com website, and here is the page for the Incandescent Light String Test and Repair Box for commercial and residential use. Magic Box Christmas Light Tester. The Magic Box commercial grade Christmas light tester isolates twisted bulbs, empty sockets, and bad fuses by forcing electrical current through non-working set. You can start repairing your defective incandescent lights instead of trashing them. It makes dollars and cents to easily repair a set as opposed to throwing it away. Essential for lighting professionals and crews, this little box will pay for itself in no time. Used only to repair incandescent mini lights. Note: to reduce the possibility of electric shock when using this machine, avoid holding the string lights in your hands while testing. Extension cords sold separately. And then we have the specifications. And it can power up to 5 amps. And it gives you the specifications on the box itself. It's a generic box, so it did have at one time many uses. So it's just a one of them universal boxes that they put it in. It says instructions, test -100 incandescent light tester instructions. This light tester is designed to work with incandescent mini light sets only. The light tester will only work with 1 string of lights at a time. When working with trees, you must remove any tape or disconnect any clusters of plugs in order to isolate the individual sets. That means if you have a lighted tree, a pre-lit tree, most likely it will have extension cords with individual zones for lights. So isolate the zones and test the lights that way. It says step 1, plug the light tester into a standard 120 volt outlet and flip up the on-off power switch. 2, plug in the light set into the outlet located on the front of the tester. 3, push and release the big, large red button. 1 of 4 things should happen. A, the lights should kick on, and then find and replace burnt out bulbs. B, a buzz is heard in the light string. This indicates a missing or broken bulb. Press big button as needed to track down the buzz sound. Replace the bad bulb. Light should come on. C, the box itself buzzes. This indicates multiple problems on the string. See probe instructions below. D, 1/2 of the string is lit. Pull 1 of the lit bulbs out of the socket. Press and release the big button. This should kick on the back half of the string. So what that means is that since you're going to be having the whole light set plugged into the box, if that uh, working section works, you want to pull the bulb out of the first of the working strand so that all the directed energy can go into the section that is bad. It says for probe instructions, if the box buzzes and you have multiple issues on this string, the probe will tell you if you have power to a particular socket. Plug probe in front of the tester. Remove first bulb on string. Place bulb into the socket, making sure contact with one side of the socket at a time. If there is power to that socket, a light will shine from behind the plug in front of the box. Continue to probe every string at every fifth bulb. So every fifth bulb you have to pull it and then do your electrical checks. But you can also do the same thing more easily with your standalone electric tester there, your little pen, or you can use your Light Tester Pro with the electrical tester on it. And then it says continue every fifth bulb. You should be able to isolate the problems this way. Be sure to check bulbs as you pull out to be sure you have two good wires. So sometimes what happens is if you pull a bulb out, sometimes the wires will break. And so you want to make sure you have a wire sticking out on each side of the socket of the bulb, and make sure they are folded upward parallel with the bulb. And it says, note, to reduce possibility of electric shock when using this machine, avoid holding the strings of lights in your hands. Otherwise, you'll be looking like Bob Ross. So that's where this particular light box comes from. There's a couple of other places, maybe one other place that might have this same box. It's a little bit more expensive than this place. So currently it's $73.84. And the last time I knew, it was, I think they had 6 left. And then you can, since it doesn't come with any instructions, you can get the instructions right here. And I did not have that at times, so I will be downloading this. So now I have operating instructions. And it says it right here, you know, for your 10s, 20s, 35s, and 50s. Normally it's going to be, you know, you're not going to have any sectional strings. But then once you get to your 70s and your 100s, your strings are going to be split. So if one side of the light string is lit, you want to go ahead and remove one good bulb off the segment that is lit, so you have more success on using the magic box. And then the rest of the stuff here. So it's pretty simple instructions. So I have them downloaded now. So that's it for this site and segment. So now we'll go back to the video already in progress. So now that, you know, you checked it out, I don't know if it's, you know, at time of this recording, they probably still have it, probably not. And the only other place that has it is another commercial Christmas site. I think it's AA or AAA Christmas lights or something like that. And it's expensive. It's, you know, it's a couple $100 for the same box. So there's a couple of videos on YouTube on using this thing. So no sense in me trying to describe of how to use this stuff and like that, because there's plenty of videos of that. So being that this is already a long-winded video, almost 23 minutes of me just babbling on about bullshit and Christmas lights and incandescents, and so we'll wrap it up here. And there'll be some future videos of me using this box, including to see if a 20-year-old brand new in-box set of incandescents still work, and some nostalgic, or however you want to pronounce it, of Christmas lights that I still have. Some are special, and you'll never ever know unless you find them on eBay that, you know, new old stock or somebody just giving them up. But I got some very special Christmas lights that, see if they still work, because they're probably 30 years old when I took them out of service, and some that they'll never be recreated ever again. So if you stood this long and watched this long, thanks for watching. Uh, of course, I don't do this very often, but subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get monetized. It would make my day to get monetized again, because Susan, she took it away from me because I don't have 1,000 subscribers and I don't have 4,000 watch hours and all that other bullshit that you need to be monetized on YouTube. Several years ago, when she dropped the axe, I should have been grandfathered being a YouTuber for a couple of years, and then being just axed and trying to, so I was pissed off, so I took all my videos off and I deleted them all, because at the time I didn't think I was going to do another video again, but I'm just doing this for fun, so thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video, and we'll throw some arcs and sparks and make electrical noises. So see you later. Bye.